Yo guys, I am back again. I am actually going to do a quick guide on just pres changes going into 12.1 and what I'm running initially, and help you guys get started with pres, go over some stats and stuff like that. But bear in mind the season hasn't started yet, it's just that the changes have come through. So to kick us off, the main thing is we're going to switch to Flameshaper, most likely. The reason for this is that the changes improve Dream Breath's healing over time effect. If you look at the final rank of our Apex talents, Dream Breath healing is now increased by 60%. It used to be Dream Breath instant healing is increased by like 125% or something like that. And that was only the immediate heal, not the heal over time. Now the heal over time is a lot stronger. And so where you have Flameshaper having all of these modifiers on your Dream Breath, like increasing the heal over time, healing here, we've got it's healing more often here. We've got the duration being longer here, and then also the consume flame to proc the Dream Breath healing to then do burst healing as well. And this value also got increased. It used to be 200% and now it's 240. So you get an extra 40% healing off of that Dream Breath's value as well when you consume flame it. So you could also argue that Chronowarden also gains benefit off of the sustained healing being higher, because with sustained healing being higher, the Chronowarden could do more damage. But the other thing that got changed is this talent got changed from 10-second cooldown reduction down to 6. And the problem you'll have with Chrono now is that you'll have around, when I tested it was maybe around a 6-second to 6 to 9-second gap between Dream Breaths. Now obviously with smart stasis usage you can close that gap by using a casted Dream Breath into a stasis Dream Breath into a casted Dream Breath, and then you'll have that gap there, which isn't that bad. You can maintain three Dream Breaths in a row, but with Flameshaper you don't really have to worry about that at all, and it also then gives you options to maybe use a stronger Dream Breath at some point to heal through burst. That's the overall thing. And then tier set, which I will put on the screen over here somewhere whilst I'm talking. The 2-piece is that consuming Essence Burst sends forth a living flame to your target at 100% effectiveness, or if they are full health, it will put it on a nearby ally instead, so it'll have a smart healing effect. And then the 4-piece is that all green spells restore 5% more health, so that is Verdant Embrace, Marif's Blessing down here, the Reversion proc. It is your Dream Breath, so all of that good stuff there. And then also Verdant Embrace has a 100% chance to grant Essence Burst, which is huge. And now, don't forget these are going to be halved in PvP. So we're likely looking at Living Flame being 50% effectiveness, and Verdant Embrace having a 50% chance to grant Essence Burst potentially, and green spells only healing 2.5% more instead of 5%, but we'll see what the actual values are when I get to your set. I haven't tested PTR or anything, so I don't know for certain, but that's what I think it will be. It would just be half across the board. So what that means is that our tier set's mainly just giving us Essence Burst procs, which then makes this build really strong, because we're running Titan's Gift. So you should have Essence Burst most of the game, and as a result, you can either use your Essence Burst to deal big damage with Disintegrate with Energy Loop and Titan's Gift stacking up, or you can use Titan's Gift to increase your healing over time effects as well. So if you have an Essence Burst proc and you're running Titan's Gift, if I just get a Essence Burst proc here, fingers crossed, I'll use a Fire Breath, that'll give me one. So if I now use this Echo, this does 142%, which means then when I put this Dream Breath up, one of these actually, so you can see the second one is doing almost 50% more, well, it'll be doing 40% more than the other one, so it massively increases your HPS. If I use a non-Essence Burst one, you can see it's 105%. So I'm gaining quite a large amount of extra healing through Titan's Gift, and when we have that full set, we'll have a lot more Essence Burst, because not only does the Verdant Embrace give me Essence Burst, but also when you consume Essence Burst, you'll send a Living Flame, and that Living Flame will also then have a 20% chance to generate another Essence Burst. So you can start chaining Essence Bursts together, and I think we'll have a lot of Essence once we get tier set, and that makes Titan's Gift really strong. But even without that tier set, I would still run Titan's Gift for this build, and I'll get onto that when I talk about rotation in a bit. So for stats, we still want mostly haste. There were some bug fixes to Flameshaper that actually makes Mastery more valuable now, but overall we still need haste, and as Flameshaper you don't get the this talent here, where is it? This one. So you can get up to 9%. You basically maintain 9% extra haste the whole time as Chronowarden. We don't have that, so your haste is lower as Flameshaper, and so you do want a good amount of haste. I'm probably going to aim for between 26 to 28% haste, and then dump the rest into Mastery after that. So I'll see what that ends up as, but as I said, it's early days right now, I don't know for sure. And then moving into rotational changes, but also just rotation in general. Basically, as Flameshaper, if this person is taking damage, I must maintain Echo Dream Breath as a hot at all times. And then what will happen is, because of Consume Flame, if I either Verdant or Echo Verdant, I will consume Dream Breath. And because I have the Season 1 tier set, my Emerald Blossom is also consuming it at the moment. But of course, we will lose Emerald Blossom procs going into Season 2 as we replace our gear. So you must maintain Echo Dream Breath, and then when you Verdant, you will proc Consume Flame and you will burst heal them. So this is your maintenance. Whilst you're doing maintenance, you're going to deal damage, you're fishing for Essence Burst, and then doing damage. You send a Fire Breath. Your Fire Breath and Dream Breath both have a 50% chance to generate Essence Burst, which is nice. And then when you need to burst heal them, you're going to Verdant in, consume that Dream Breath, and then reapply it. And of course, Echo Reversion is still your main way of healing burst. But you can also use Verdant to heal burst in this build. But when you use Verdant, you want to try and get maximum value by either using Nullifying Shroud or just using the mobility it gives. So Verdant Embrace does three things. It heals, it gives you CC immunity, and it also gives you mobility. So it's a really versatile spell, and you want to try and maximize the usage of it. If you just use it for CC immunity, then you've lost two things. If you just use it for healing, then you've lost two things. So you need to try and maximize the value of Verdant. And actually, Verdant does four things. It gives you Lifebind, which is your only heal amplifier, really, outside of Golden Hour. So Lifebind is one of your biggest healing amplifiers, because if I Lifebind to this target and we're both getting cleaved and I put an Echo Dream Breath, the Dream Breath healing on me and the Echo Dream Breath on this target are all being shared through Lifebind, and it massively increases the HPS you can do. And then of course, like I said, Echo Reversion is your go-to. When you have the green version, Marif's Blessing, which you get guaranteed after using Dream Breath, but you also have a chance to get it after consuming Essence, I believe. Yeah, there we go. This makes it bounce and does a lot more, and actually what you can do is you can put multiple echoes up and then use it, and you'll get a lot of healing out of that. So that's a really powerful burst heal, and also can be a really powerful cleave heal. But Echo Reversion is how you rewind damage done, because of where is it, Golden Hour, where they moved it to. There we go, this. So with Echo, that's 30% of damage taken in the last 5 seconds, but also Grace Period. When you've got 2 reversions on a target, they get 20% extra healing. 1 reversion is 10%, 2 reversions 20%. So you want to maintain this, you want to maintain Dream Breath. So if you just maintain your hots, you'll have good passive healing. Then you can focus on things like damage. As this person starts getting low, you can consume Flame through Verdant, and then you can reapply Dream Breath. And if you really need to burst heal someone, you can Echo Verdant, and you'll double proc Consume Flame there. So instead of 4 seconds, it will do 8 seconds, which is quite massive. Cool. Okay, hope that all makes sense. What I want to move into now is the damage as Flameshaper. Because we don't have Chrono Flame, Living Flame is a not very useful button. It is slower to cast as Flameshaper, and it does not heal as much. You see that it does 31k damage normal. What does damage with this build is Disintegrate. So there we go. 1 Disintegrate did 137k there. And the reason for that is because of Energy Loop and Titan's Gift stacking up to deal a lot of damage, and then the Essence Burst we have here. And the other thing you'll have is that you'll have a lot of passive healing through the high Dream Breath output, so then that gives you more time to look for Disintegrate. You do still want to press Living Flame as a filler spell for Essence generation, because the problem is if I go and spend all my Essence now on Disintegrates, then I'm going to be very limited in terms of what I can echo. Like for example, right now I actually have no global suppress until I get an Essence back, and then I can Dream Breath. But you can see here I'm super starved now. So you need to be careful about overspending Essence on Disintegrate. So you do want to weave in Living Flames. You've got the Ancient Flame increased cast time here, and Living Flame basically just serves as the filler to generate Essence Burst when you need it. And also, like I said, Fire Breath does generate has a 50% chance to generate Essence Burst on this build, so don't forget to weave in your Fire Breaths. You get 2 charges of Fire Breath as Flameshaper, so you can really start pumping out some purges and some damage through the combination of fire breaths and then enhance living flames through fire breaths. So I'll just show you again. If I do a full stack fire breath, my next living flame will hit 3 additional targets. So that's 4 living flames. That's 80% chance to get an essence burst. And it does stack, so you can get 2 essence bursts off that. And you're playing to get essence, channel it into disintegrate to get your mana back, or get essence, use it for enhanced echoes and have increased HPS that way. Cool, and that covers the rotation really. So, maintain your hots, use Verdant or Echo Reversion to burst heal that person, and then make sure to do damage with disintegrate to, 1, get mana back, but also just deal high amounts of damage when you have essence burst, like this. And obviously where we're using Verdant, we get fast living flames, so we can weave those in a bit easier. Tip the scales is only to just instant cast. It doesn't give you that crazy haste buff that you get in Chrono. But generally through playing, you should generate essence, and then the skill cap here is to make sure that you're nicely balancing your echo usage and your disintegrate usage with your essence here and your essence burst procs. And that's how you gotta play the game. Cool. Finally is Stasis. I know everyone always asks about Stasis, so just to cover that, I would probably recommend doing Stasis. Start with a Dream Breath, and what you want to do is vary the Dream Breath stacks depending on what comp you're playing against. If you're playing against something that's going to burst you on a stun, I recommend max stacking this. If you're playing against something that's just going to do damage over time, then just use 1 tick and just maintain the hot. But with 2 charges, you can maintain the hot a lot anyway, so I think as Flameshaper with Stasis, charging it is better. And then I would probably do something like Echo Verdant on your main heal target. And what that means is that if I now do pre-echo my Stasis, and then I press this and this, it's going to do an Echo Consume Flame with a full charge Dream Breath, and that's going to be my biggest burst healing through Stasis. And that's what I'd recommend generally, but of course everything changes depending what's going on within a game. But that's a nice general way. As part of my testing, I will be messing around with builds again. Of course, I always like to mess around with builds a little bit. The main thing being, I think Stasis is, obviously it's an amazing spell, but I think it's like overkill with Flameshaper because of how the spec works. Because you're just maintaining very high HPS and you have 2 charges Dream Breath, I think you get less value at Stasis. I do think this will be the better build, and I recommend it. What I'm going to be testing a bit because I enjoy it is something like this, which allows me to play for much bigger heal over time effects and also get more essence burst procs through the inner flame buff as well. I can't apply this right now because Stasis is on cooldown, but this actually does this effect for 20 seconds, not 15 when you have Dreamflight. So you can Dreamflight onto people. Dreamflight gives you 100% HP absorb shield, so it can be really useful to kite away. Also with Flameshaper Trailblazer, you move 40% faster and 40% faster in your Dream Flight and your Deep Breath, which can be really useful. So Dream Flight isn't an amazing spell. I wish it was a bit stronger so it was more viable, but I do quite like how it feels to play. I think Stasis will be more consistent, but this is just worth knowing that this is a thing. I'm going to be testing it a bit, but I do recommend you play Stasis. You'll also note that I've dropped another point in Timeless Magic to play this build, so I don't actually know how valuable this will be. But it's just quite nice when you do something like Echo Dream Breath into Dream Flight, into Echo Reversion. The amount of HPS that you just passively do through this is really, really nice. You can see here all these hots ticking like absolute madness right now, which is really, really cool. So if you pre-Dream Flight some CC and your team has Echo Dream Breaths on them, they are basically immortal, is what my testing was with this sort of build. Just from this being like a bit of a bloodlust effect. You can see here you get increased healing over time effects by 50%, and Living Flame and Reversion have 100% increased chance to generate Essence Burst. So you've got 40% chance through Living Flame, 30% chance through Reversion, and Echo Reversion is then 60% chance, which is really cool. So you get a lot more essence and you can get a lot more throughput by having this, which is quite nice. And with the amount that we're disintegrating, I think you need that mana efficiency less, so you can afford to drop this. However, I do think that this will be the better build to play, and this is what you should try first. That will cover everything. I'm now sat in the dark because the sun's gone down whilst I've been talking. One quick thing as well, talent over here. I've been messing around playing Tailwind a lot. I actually really like the sprint speed that you get from it rather than anything else in the tree, mainly because it allows you to chase people with Sleepwalk really quickly. If I just show you how fast I am with this, for example, I can't actually cast on this. That's the wrong person. What am I doing? But I have a fast and long hover as Flameshaper, and then I can chase someone with high speed, and it's really hard for them to get away from me in this situation with these talents stacked, Trailblazer and Tailwind. This can be really useful. It reduces the cooldown of a pressing roll by 30 seconds, which means that it shifts it from the 2-minute CD of like trinkets on DPS, and you can get a lot of value out of that. And then maybe Renewing Blaze causing having quicker healing, but Renewing Blaze got giga nerfed going into midnight, so I don't really love this talent, to be honest. And I actually think Tailwind's one of the nicest things to play. You can also play the short knock up here into lots of casters, because you can deny a lot more casts by having this. You can deny, obviously you get 1 minute CD here, 1 minute CD here. That means every 1 minute you can deny 2 casts with these 2 spells, alongside your Verdant Embrace immunity as well. So yeah, that's going to do it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck in this season.